Leveling up the playing field for every school who has the financial resources in order to attract certain players to their program. So the playing field is being leveled through through all schools, because the main sell of going to the NFL, and like, we're going to get you to go to the NFL, and you're going to be a high round draft pick, and that's where you get your money. That's not really working anymore when high school athletes are saying that, oh, I can get a lot of money right now. So that's also changing their minds on where they go, so on and so forth. So, and then on top of that, it's just like even without NILs, any given Saturday in the SEC. So
right. T-Book, you probably talked to some people in the NFL, and I'm sure they've mentioned too, because they've mentioned to me, former players, I wish I stayed a year or two because college was a great time of my life.
Yeah, people, whenever I talk to some of my teammates who are in the league, they tell me to enjoy it because the league is so different. It's definitely more of a business. It's definitely more of a business when you get to the league, and you really just don't have the same kind of camaraderie that you have here in college, because in the league, a lot of the pro teams, they're done by, I want to say 2-3 o'clock, and that's a late day. And so the rest of the day, you have that day to yourself. So you're not required to be around your teammates. Here, we go to practice together, we eat together, we go to class together, we have more meetings together, we work out together, we do pretty much everything together. So that's how that camaraderie is built.
Right. Yeah. Less structure in the NFL as far as for the entire day. There's definitely structure, but not as much. And as you said, you don't get a chance to visit unless you become really friends. Like the O-line is pretty tight usually, even in Pro Bowl, I think.
That's the right? One that I've heard from JC. He tells me, like, yeah, the rest of the team, they aren't as close, but the offensive line, that's a very close unit. And it has to be, because your personal success depends on the success of 4 other people as well. So in order to make sure that you have success, you have to make sure those 4 other people have success as well.
Oh, yeah. Hey, T-Book, I was looking at some of the stats, midway to the season, 6 games, 5-1. Y'all are 5-1. Sacks, 12 sacks for the year. That's way down from last year. Why the improvement? What do you think is the reason for those good numbers?
No, yeah, it's great to be down in that sack numbers. And I think that's just due to guys like maturing more. So last year we had Caden, who was a freshman. He's playing lights out this year. He's having a really great year. I'm proud of him, the way he's improved. And then also what I've noticed from the last staff to this staff is some of the play calling. Like, we're still able to pass the ball, but not in obvious passing situations. When we're in empty protection or just straight up drop back pass protection as we were in previous years. So the cadence of the play calling is helping slow down the rush of the defense, and we're also getting better as well.
You mentioned that empty protection. When the quarterback is the only person in the backfield, empty protection, can you feel the defensive line? They're excited. They're anticipating, we're going after this quarterback. We know that he's by himself.
Oh yeah, they definitely get a lot more excited whenever we're in empty protection. But we see that as a challenge. Be like, okay, they think they're going to get to our quarterback. We're not going to let them.
Right. Big ball game this weekend. Moving on from the South Carolina game, Tennessee. That's one of the biggest rivals for Alabama. T-Book, you probably know this. Alabama did not play Auburn for 40 years, so Tennessee was the team. That was a big rival for a lot of alumni. They still feel Tennessee is the main rival for the Alabama. So you're going to go up to Knoxville. You're up there a couple of years ago. What is that scenario like for you as an offensive lineman trying to compete that day?
Oh man. So 2 years ago, when during that game, it was super loud. Like, some of my teammates and I, we were literally right next to each other We couldn't hear what one another was saying. Like, it gets super loud. The atmosphere
Yeah.
is electric. It's everything that you want out of the SEC football game. So we just have to make sure that we are in control of our emotions and don't let the external factors of the crowd get to us.
Mhm. What's a Tennessee defense? What can you look forward to playing that type of defense? Tennessee and their defensive coaches and their defensive players.
Playing Tennessee, you're going to get a good amount of stunts, good amount of pressures, but their players are so good that they don't really have to. So you'll see a lot of them playing straight up. You'll see some stunts and pressures in certain situations, but they usually let their players play, and that's because they have a lot of really good defensive linemen and 2 really good edges as well. So as an offensive lineman, these are the kind of games that you get excited for because you're going against some of the best in the country.
You get to move around maybe a little bit this game, T-Book. Maybe you help on the edge a little bit or something, pull out there and protect your quarterback. Is that a fun move for you? I mean, I'm not just talking about the Tennessee game, but any type of game where you get to pull and pass protection and help on the edge maybe.
Yeah, I like it. I know that it helps the offense because whenever I pull, 90% of the time it's a run. So that makes the linebackers crash down. That makes the safeties run up as well. So when I pull and Jalen has the ball, that I know that is going to be a big play. When me or Jalen pulls, I know that something big is going to come from it, and then it's also going to help us in the run game because that's going to make the linebackers and the safeties a step slower because they don't know if they got to wonder like, okay, just because 52 pulled or 77 pulled doesn't mean it's just a run. It could be a pass now too. So really just finding little ways to trick the defense is what it's all about.
I'm sure. T-Book, do you like the silent count or do you like to hear your quarterback, or it doesn't matter to you?
It really doesn't matter to me. Yeah, I'm going to say it doesn't matter to me. Just whatever's best for whatever situation we're in. And I remember playing at Tennessee 2 years ago. We went on the silent count for a drive and we realized that we really didn't need it because Bryce did a great job of communicating, coming up to the line and clapping really loud. So we're going to see what's going to work best for us this year with Jalen, and we're just going to be prepared for whatever happens.
Now, I know you must know the words to Rocky Top by now.
I definitely do.
All the Alabama players, they kind of joke about it through the year. They say, hey, it's kind of a catchy tune, because they heard it 1,000 times in practice. But maybe you have some special music this week in the locker room before the game. You have some special Tennessee music?
Oh yeah, it's kind of tradition to play their song all week long because that's all we're gonna hear that the whole game.
Yeah, that's I know. I've talked to some players in the past. They can sing the song, they know the words, So, but what else is different about playing at Tennessee? Anything different for Alabama, or you as an offensive lineman?
Other than 150,000 people screaming against you, it's not much different.
Right. But can you hear the Alabama people when you're there, T-Book, in the stands? I mean, LSU, Tennessee, those types of places known for their noise level.
Yeah, usually that. But whenever we hear the Alabama fans, that means we did something really good, and that means all the Tennessee fans are quiet as well. So I hope to hear the Alabama fans a lot this weekend.
Oh my, T-Book, you know any players on Tennessee? You're familiar with any of those players? Did you play with them at school, or you meet them somewhere down the road? You know any of them?
No, not personally, but of course, people through recruiting, and I'm not super close with any of those guys like I was at Georgia. I remember after the Georgia game, I was just it felt like I knew the whole team because we, a lot of those guys through recruiting. I went to school with a bunch of them. I played with them. I even grew up with one of them, that being Ellis. So
Ellis, right?
Just yeah, that's the beauty of football, all the relationships that you get to build.
Oh yeah, you check in with Ellis most every week, probably.
Yes, I do. I'm very happy for him, very proud of him, the way he's progressing out there.
Yeah, how's he doing so far, T-Book? Ellis, how's he doing?
He's doing well. He's still getting used to college, getting used to just being on this kind of schedule, like just honestly just getting used to being in college now. So he's figuring that out. Well, he's really enjoying it, and that's great for him.
Oh yeah, T-Book, you like to go on the road after a while. You play some home games, but I think it's probably fun for you to go on the road, hear that crowd, hear that other crowd rooting against you.
I love going. Definitely, I love going on the road. Going on the road is fun because you get to see new stadiums, new atmosphere, hear new chants, see new people, and a whole another group of people that hate you for that day.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. You got some big road games this year. LSU and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Alabama, they've only played at Oklahoma, I think, one other time, possibly, I think it is. So it's going to be fun to go out to Norman, Oklahoma. And, of course, LSU is always loud and Tennessee's loud. So a lot of challenges in this remaining 6 games you have for the schedule. T-Book, why don't you tell folks about your website?
So my website, www.iamtylerbooker.com. That's where you'll be able to find out more about me as a person. You'll also be able to purchase some of my merchandise on that website as well. So you guys go check it out.
And you can see it right here on the ticker during the show. You can follow it and find out and look for the merchandise and learn about T-Book as well. And also our show is on YouTube at AP Stedham, the Book Report. And people have been telling me they love that name, the Book Report.
Yeah, it's catchy. It's a good one. I like it.
T-Book, you got a lot of folks coming down for the ball game?
I do. So I have my family, my immediate family, my girlfriend, my grandparents, and 2 of my uncles.
Oh, your grandparents. T-Book, are your grandparents, they live in Connecticut as well, or no?
They do, and it's always exciting to have them come to the games because, as you know, my uncle played. He played for Michigan State, so they're used to the Big Ten games, and I always joke with them and be like, yeah, like this is what SEC football is all about.
T-Book, mention your uncle's name for us. I don't think we mentioned his name. We spoke about him a few times, but we never did say his name.
His name is Ulish Booker.
He played at Michigan State.
Yes, he did. It's funny because Coach Saban actually recruited him.
Did he have some stories for you, your uncle, about Nick Saban recruiting him?
Oh, a whole lot. And it's funny because it's very similar to his recruiting pitch to me.
No kidding. It was about the same, huh? He didn't change it. Wow. Did he have any funny moments with Nick Saban? You don't hear that too often, but Nick Saban had a sense of humor.
Yeah, he had a sense of humor. He didn't really hit on those, but it's funny because I remember talking to my uncle, and I had been in Alabama for only when I came home from after my first spring.
Right.
And Coach Saban talks with his hands in team meetings, and my uncle did an impression of Coach Saban, and he started doing a hand. I was like, he's still doing this 30 years later. And that was really funny.
That is kind of funny. Yeah, it is funny to have that. But no, it's been a lot of fun. Anything else you want to say before the Tennessee game, or just anything you want to bring up before we end the show this week?
I know I'm all good. I'm just very excited to go play in front of a rowdy crowd this week in a Roll Tide.
Hey, T-Book, we really appreciate it. Tell them one more time about your website.
You guys can go check out my website, www.iamtylerbooker.com, to find out more about me and purchase some merchandise.
Hey, check us out on the Book Report on YouTube at AP Stedham. Check out the website, T-Book's website, and purchase some of that merchandise and find out about them. And okay, T-Book, we really appreciate it. And good luck this week against the Tennessee Volunteers, one of Alabama's main rivals for over 100 years.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and Roll Tide.